Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, world, and welcome to episode. What is it, 49?
49.
Oh, 49. I wore my Zebo jersey in honor of the wrong night. That's embarrassing. Well, folks, it's episode 49 of Bald Online. We're back here again. We haven't quit yet. Hopefully, we're never going to, but people keep listening to us for some weird reason. Haven't discovered why. But it's me and your boy Starkey here again.
What's up, y'all?
Starkey, we've had a busy week.
Yeah, it has been a really busy week.
We got Alabama players getting charged for murder. We got NFL Super Wildcard Weekend. The Grizzlies are on a 10-game winning streak in the past week. Let's jump into it. Before we do this, I was listening to a podcast, and they discussed something real fast. I'm saving it for you because I want to know your thoughts right on the air when I ask this. I listened to the New Heights podcast with Jason and Travis Kelce. Their topic, they had a question a couple of episodes ago, was who would win a football game? A team of just offensive and defensive linemen who can sub in and out.
Okay.
Or you play a team of skilled players who can't sub out.
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say,
I'm taking the lineman all day.
Yeah, give me a slight edge to the lineman.
Because, do you mean to tell me Tyreek Hill can tackle Vita Vea, who weighs 347 pounds?
Yeah.
And don't forget, you got the people who say, oh my gosh, well, what about, you're thinking like, okay, what about like you got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, all these guys? Sure, but guess what? You know who I'll put in the secondary? The Bosa brothers.
Right.
Who I'll just say, don't let nothing get behind you.
Yeah.
And then they'll smoke you across. I'm taking linemen all day.
Yeah, give me the lineman. I think that'd be a very interesting matchup for sure.
Just because, dude, there's no way they're going to get worn down trying to tackle these monster offensive linemen and defensive linemen.
Yeah.
And you think, remember, the skill guys can't sub out.
Right.
So you mean for 48 minutes that Tyreek Hill is going to be fully healthy playing both sides of the ball? No. I was hoping we would have different takes here and we could argue back and forth, but
Started to disappoint.
It's okay. Let's just jump into a wild card weekend. Holy crap!
What a weekend, dude! It was a great weekend for football.
We only had one bad game.
Yes, we did.
That was the 49ers and Seahawks.
Yeah.
And that just makes me more nervous because I have to play the 49ers struggled a little bit in the first half, and then the second half they literally beat the brakes off the Seahawks.
Yes, they did.
Brock Purdy he just keeps winning, and it just amazes me. This is the guy that went he was the last pick in the draft.
Yes. Wasn't supposed to sniff the field at all this season.
He's currently, what is his record right now? He is currently 6-0 as a starting quarterback in the NFL. He's got 16 touchdown passes to 4 interceptions, and he's got 1,800 passing yards, and he's completing 66% of his passes, combining both playoff and postseason.
Yeah, that is not terrible.
So, answer me this. Do you think it's because of the team he's on, or do you think Brock Purdy's that good?
So that's a good question.
Because remember, Tom Brady's first couple of years, the Patriots weren't the best. He made them the best.
Yes. But at the same time, we've said it before, you could put either one of us in the quarterback position, and we could help make San Francisco win games.
You're either throwing it or handing it off to Deebo Samuel or Christian McCaffrey and let them do the rest.
True. Very true. But you have to think about it too. Brock Purdy was one of those quarterbacks, and I know he was the last pick in the draft, but he was one of those very heralded, polished, talked about quarterbacks.
Well, remember, after going into the COVID year in 2020, most people had him a first round grade on him, if not top 5 for the
Yes.
number 1 quarterback.
Yes.
Because his sophomore year, he had 27 touchdowns to 9 interceptions for 4,000 yards, and he also ran for 8 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, granted, that's Big 12 numbers, but still.
Yeah. But you have to think about it too. Look at this same team with, because I'm not even talking about Trey Lance right now. They very well could trade him this offseason. Look at Jimmy G.
You have to trade Trey Lance.
You don't have a choice.
I mean, so you can keep Trey Lance, but you're just going to be losing keeping him. You gave up 2 firsts for him. You need to try to get your value at least some of your value back as much as possible.
Yes.
Because right now, to me, if they lose on Sunday, to me, there should be no question for a quarterback battle.
Yeah. I fully agree.
Okay, if there is one, it's between Jimmy G and Brock Purdy.
Yes.
Trey Lance is not in that battle.
No, Trey Lance is not the guy.
Which is it's just amazing to think that we're talking about Trey like this. He's barely played in his career.
Yeah. He's shown flashes in the preseason.
And that's preseason, though.
Exactly. That's my point.
How many I'm pulling up right now. How many games do you think Trey Lance has played in?
I want to say it's only 3 or 4.
So he has started 4 games and played in 8 total games.
Okay.
Brock Purdy has started 5 games. And he started including the playoffs, it's 6 games now. He's played in 10 games. He started 6. And he's got a 6-0 record.
Yeah.
Trey Lance is 2-2.
I'm going to go out on a limb. As great as that offense is, I'm going to say Brock Purdy is just that dude.
I'm starting to believe it, dude. He's making the throw. Granted, with the guys he has, you should be making those throws, but dude, I was pissed. I will get into it in a second, but I was pissed the Giants won. Not because it's the Giants, just because that was the one team I wanted to avoid for as long as possible in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It was the 49ers, just because I won't get into my predictions later, just because their offense is so talented. Let's jump to another shocking game for the weekend. I took them. This was a bold take. Was the Chargers blowing a 27-point lead?
Yes.
We finally saw flashes of the Trevor Lawrence that we saw at Clemson.
Yes.
Granted, his stat line is terrible. His stat line is 28 of 47 for 288 yards, 4 touchdowns to 4 interceptions.
All 4 of those interceptions came in the first quarter.
You know what I think is more shocking about the Jags? It's just freaking Evan Ingram. Mr. Colito.
If there's one player, and I'm total bias here, if there's one player that I'm glad to see resurrect his career, it is Evan Ingram.
I don't know, man. I lost a lot of respect for Evan Ingram back in the day.
Didn't you have classes with him?
I was actually getting to that, yes. So one of my buddies, it was like the A&M game, like his last year there. We lost because of Evan Ingram had he pulled a Jalen Waddle and dropped every pass that hit him in the hands. He had 8 drops that game. And so I dared my buddy, I think in the 4th quarter, I was like, hey man, bet you won't put a Butterfinger and Waddle on Ingram's desk on Monday. He said, bet. Walks into our business class. There's a Butterfingers laying on his desk. Evan walks in, looks at it, looks around, and just walks out. I was like, come on,
That's so
man.
messed up, dude.
Is it? I don't even care about Ole Miss, but I was pissed that game. Like Ole Miss should have won. I think it was Auburn. I think it was Auburn. It was. I think it was either. I don't remember who it was. Doesn't matter. It was Auburn A&M. But Ole Miss should have won the game by like 3 touchdowns because Evan Ingram couldn't catch a pass to save his life. I was pissed, and I could care less if Ole Miss won or lost the game.
Yeah.
And then he comes in there and just walks right out. I'm like, come on, man. You're going to get a lot worse in the NFL.
Right.
And you got marked absent for the day. Come on, buddy. But dude, it's just the resurgence of him. He led the team in receiving again with 93 receiving yards.
Mm-hmm.
But the best thing is they're spreading the ball around. They had 4 different guys get a touchdown pass, and Travis Etienne is looking like he was at Clemson running the ball.
Yes.
The biggest shocker to me is what the crap is going on with San Diego's offense.
I think a lot of that is you have a second-year defensive coach who really doesn't know how to be that game manager yet. Because if you look at it,
Go ahead.
the turning point of that game was the 4th down play that Staley thought they converted to a first down. And then they're just kind of standing around in the huddle, time steadily, ticking away. And they're like, what's going on? He didn't even realize they didn't convert the first down. And so they had to go in and snap the ball with like a second left on the play clock. And they got sacked for, didn't convert it again. So I'm not sure Staley knows what he's doing at this level.
Well, they fired Lombardi today.
Yeah, they did.
Well, my thing is, I get it. You have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Could be one of the best receiving duos. Should have been one of the best receiving duos in NFL history. They should have gone down as the top 10 receiving duo.
Yep, I agree.
You have Phillip Rivers, Hall of Fame quarterback. Had both of them. Neither one can stay healthy. Same thing with Justin Herbert, who everyone in the world believes is a top 7 quarterback. Has the potential to be a top quarterback.
Yes.
He regressed this year because Keenan Allen, hamstring again, and then Mike Williams didn't even play because he has a fractured back.
Yeah.
Get this man some freaking weapons. If they don't attack wide receiver in the first round, I'm going to be pissed for the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Just like how we all are every year, the Packers don't go wide receiver in the first round.
Yeah.
I'm going to be extremely pissed off when this happens. The guy, he's the best quarterback in that draft. So you can't say the draft because he was drafted with Joe Burrow. Who was he? I think he was.
Yeah, that was the Joe Burrow.
He was the Joe Burrow draft. So to me, he's better than Tua.
Ooh, okay. That's a bold take.
You put Tua on that Dolphins team, or you put Herbert on that Dolphins team, you're looking at the number 1 seed in the AFC. Mark my words.
Okay.
Way better talent, and I'm taking out the concussion part. If Tua played a full season, Herbert played a full season, Herbert would put up way better stats all day long.
All right.
That's just my take. And listen to this. Austin Eckler, he was the number 1 fantasy running back this year.
Yep.
Where do you think the Chargers finished in rushing for the year?
I'm going to say probably not even top 10.
Not even top 20. They finished 30th.
Wow.
They averaged 82 rushing yards a game.
That's disgusting.
Eckler was pretty much their number 1 wide receiver all year.
That's ridiculous.
He carried my sorry dynasty team in one league to the playoffs, just him and Stephon Diggs, because Eckler was getting touches backfield. He was getting touchdowns from running the ball at the 5-yard line, and then he was getting receiving yards all game long. They have to attack wide receiver this offseason. I mean, Mike Williams had the Mike Williams career he was supposed to have last year, but what he did, how he followed up this year, and they just paid the man.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's time to move. I think it's time to move on from Keenan Allen.
Correct me if I'm wrong. How old is Keenan Allen now?
He's old.
I thought he was getting up there in age for a receiver anyway.
He's 31, or he's 30. He's been in the league for 10 years now.
Never mind. 30's not old.
Well, in wide receiver years, it is. And you look at how. So I have his history pulled up. How many times do you think Keenan Allen in his 10-year career has played all 16 games?
I'm going to say 6 times?
4.
4.
His best stretch was 2017 to 2019 when he played 3 years in a row of 16 games. And when he's on the field healthy, he's unstoppable.
Right.
That's the biggest question his whole career has been, what if? Let's jump to the next game next, if you're ready for it. Bills-Dolphins. Like me, I know like me, you probably thought, okay, 17-0.
Yeah.
Game's over. Nope. Nope.
No.
I'm starting to believe that the Bills are one of the most overhyped teams in NFL history.
Well, I think the thing is, because all of the analysts and all those guys were saying it, Buffalo still isn't even playing their best football yet. Because
they're not.
Josh Allen continues to force the ball, and he throws interceptions.
Hey, did you see the clip over the weekend of Mike McDaniels vaping on the sidelines?
I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, that is legendary. I love it. He's literally there. It was when so if you remember, it was when they were talking about him. He went to Harvard, his senior thesis.
Mm-hmm.
You see him on the sidelines. He literally puts his gloves up, inhales, and you see. Granted, it was cold, but still. Here's a stat for you. Did you know that the Dolphins have lost their past 10 games when the weather is below 20 degrees?
That doesn't surprise me.
I'm sorry. The Dolphins have lost their last 10 outdoor games when it's below 40 degrees. 2016 Pittsburgh, at Pittsburgh. 2017 at Buffalo. 2017 at Kansas City. 18 at Green Bay. 18 at Buffalo. 19 at Cleveland. 20 at Buffalo. 22 at San Francisco. It gets that cold in San Francisco? Didn't know that.
I had no idea.
22 in Buffalo, and 23 in Buffalo.
That honestly doesn't shock me because you think about it. I mean, how often do they or how often are they able to practice for those conditions?
Well, they're not. And then if you look at their division, every team in their division is in the Northeast.
Exactly.
Granted, I don't think that has a lot to do with it, but that is an interesting fact. But like you said, dude, the Bills literally gave this away. And the one thing that I think will keep the Bills from winning the Super Bowl this year is they have no run game.
No, they don't.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Devin Singletary had a good year, but he ran for 819 yards. Come on, man. That's not that good.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is Josh Allen like you said, he keeps forcing the ball.
Yeah.
This year, granted, he regressed a little this year. He had 36 He had 35 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, but it's just the throws he's making. His stats are pretty much identical, minus a touchdown and 200 yards from the previous years, but it's just ridiculous. And like he's just fortunate. Everything. You can tell he's progressed so much.
Yeah.
Their defense is still playing good, but the biggest issue is they keep making the little mental mistakes.
And over time, those small mistakes add up to look like big ones.
Honestly, you know what the biggest thing is them losing Brian DeBoer.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
I know we'll get into it in a little bit.
Brian Daboll is the reason why Josh Allen has been great the past couple of years. But, and that's kind of leads me to a good game this weekend. I think we'll have between the Bengals and the Bills.
Yes.
Neutral site game in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go into the Giants and Vikings. This one,
real quick. Speaking of neutral sites, did you see today where the NFL started emailing the Chiefs and the Bills, telling their fans to go ahead and start getting their tickets to the neutral site AFC Championship game?
Really?
Yes.
So I didn't know that. So do you think that's just because they wanting the fans to get ready in case they can go ahead and prepare for it, or do you think
the fix is in?
So did you watch Trevor Lawrence's post game?
I watched
a
little bit of it.
So they're talking to him, like you couldn't have scripted a better ending. Trevor.
Yeah.
Trevor, are you telling us something?
I think the fix is in, dude. And I'm not usually a big conspiracy theorist, but I mean, come on.
I'll have to read that. I did not know that. That's very interesting to read.
I'll send it to you.
That's definitely going to be a good read because I did not know that, and I mean, I can see it. Chiefs Bills, huh? Little rematch, but that's definitely going. But let's jump into the Giants and Vikings. This one actually came down to the end, and the Giants pulled off the miracle in Minneapolis. So this leads me to say, Starkey, is Kirk Cousins a bust, or is he a fantasy quarterback, or is he a legit quarterback?
He's a fantasy quarterback. I love Kirk Cousins to death. Don't get me wrong. But nah, Kirk is the epitome of a fantasy QB.
My whole thing on this whole game is the Vikings had every attempt to stop this game.
Yes, they did.
Like, they never should have been in this game.
No.
Like, the Giants never should have been in this game. You mean a Daniel Jones-led team? Daniel Jones actually had a great game as a quarterback, not a running quarterback, a quarterback.
A pocket quarterback, yes. He had a great game. I'm telling you, man, you're sleeping on Vanilla Vic.
I don't think he's that good, but he's proving wrong.
People are throwing around the E word when it comes to Mr. Jones.
What's the E word?
Electric?
Ooh, no. Stop it. They are not.
The Giants believe they have their franchise guy. They're throwing around the word elite when talking about Daniel Jones.
He's not.
Their words, not mine, dude.
Jesus. What is this world coming to? I mean, you're talking about a guy who's got an NFL career record of 21-31. 21 of 31. And we want to give this guy the elite status. Okay. That's a knee slapper. But Hey, man, they got to pay him and Saquon.
Yeah.
I was listening the other day. They're predicting Saquon to get anywhere between $18 million a year.
Ooh.
Hey, Saquon proved it this year. When healthy, he is one of, if not the best running backs in the NFL.
That's very true. But
And
at
look
the
at what
same
he was.
time,
And here's the thing: you know who the ball's going to in San Francisco, New York. Sorry,
yeah.
it's either going to Daniel or it's going to Saquon. They have no
Yeah.
wide receivers.
No, they do not.
Just imagine if they had a wide receiver or a decent receiving core, what they could do.
Well, they drafted a first round receiver 2 years ago and then traded him to Kansas City.
They drafted. Come on, man, he was 5'8".
Still a first round wide receiver.
Their wide receiver one is Darius Slayton, who's been nothing but
Yeah.
and Kenny Galladay. Who, remember, Kenny Galladay killed it with Stafford.
He did.
Kenny Galladay was a beast with Matthew Stafford.
They were definitely banking on getting Detroit Galladay, but he has not lived up to that hype nor contract.
You know what I think's most depressing about Sunday was Dalvin Cook.
Yep.
I thought Dalvin Cook was going to be the X factor going into it. Dalvin Cook only had 70 total yards.
That's crazy. Dalvin Cook should never have 70 total yards.
Here's the thing, too. What the best thing the Giants did, and it's what they're going to do. They're going to do this. They need to do the exact same thing against this weekend's Eagles. They double team Justin Jefferson. He only had 9 targets, completed 7 for 47 yards. He averaged less than 7 yards a catch.
Yep.
Do the same thing to A.J. Brown, and I promise you, you'll have the same numbers. You could have the exact same result. This Giants defense is scary good. If you start thinking about it, dude, they're starting to, their offense doesn't scare me, it's their defense. And that's why I think Sunday when they play the Eagles, I wouldn't be shocked if there's an upset.
I can see it.
Let's jump to the next game. Bengals, Ravens. Once again, this one shouldn't have been close.
No.
Should not. Pretty much every game this weekend, like the Chargers game shouldn't have been close. The Bills game shouldn't have been close. The Vikings shouldn't have been close in the Bengals. Because Vegas all had them as at least a touchdown favorite. And they all came down to less than a touchdown, if not a touchdown.
Yeah.
The Bengals. Are you worried about the Bengals struggling against a Lamar Jackson-less team?
Wait, one more time.
I said, are you worried about the Bengals struggling against a Jamar Jackson-less team?
No, I'm not. I'm not worried about them. I'm not worried about Cincinnati.
Granted, Joe Burrow and them went out and did their thing offensively, and they literally only won. Here's the thing. Every year, what are the Ravens known for? It goes back to like the Ray Lewis days. They're known for one thing: hardcore defense.
Yep.
Especially in the playoffs. They did their thing. They only held the Bengals to 2 offensive touchdowns. 2.
And then you had probably the play of the playoffs so far.
So, you know what pissed me off was the Sam Hubbard play was the number 1 play for Spurs. That's stupid to me.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think I know why that was the case. Because one, it's football, not basketball. People's eyes are glued to football. And 2, how often do you see a 98-yard fumble recovery by a defensive end?
Well, what about the Dawson Knox catch?
That's true, though. And we'll get into that in a little bit. That one-handed moss by Knox was amazing.
You didn't tell me that shouldn't have been number one? Boy, that should have been number one. But you had the Ravens literally a fingertip away from potential tying the game.
Yeah.
Fingertips. So we actually talked. A guy at work asked this the other day. He said, "Is it common for that to happen?" I'm like, "Yes." We're like growing up, Hail Mary situations. We were always taught to have your two big guys run the middle, quarterback throws it up to it. You have a guy from the far side running a deep post. His job is to be the back guy, kind of like the Ravens, whoever number 3 was. And then you have a guy in the front. Because remember, defense, you're taught one thing: swat down.
Yep, hands up.
So your job is to swat it down, and your job is the front guy is to maybe get a thing if it comes to you, and the back guy same thing. So I thought that would be a cool story to tell. So that's why basically, if it comes through you, your job is to catch it, or if it gets tipped up, your job is to get it no matter what. And the Ravens guy was not really paying attention.
No.
Ravens lost, ended up losing, but the Bengals, Jonah Williams, dislocated kneecap.
I missed that.
Yeah, dislocated kneecap.
Ooh.
He's not going to be playing this week, or if not, the rest of this playoffs. He probably won't play till the Super Bowl if they reach it.
Yeah.
So, we'll get into predictions here in a second. Let's go to the last game real fast. Cowboys, Bucks. I had mixed feelings about this game because I was like, as a Cowboys fan, I want to win. But at the same time, I want Mike McCarthy out of there.
And if it was up to Brett Maher, he probably would have been.
Dude, how about that? He said, I had like 8 people
I've
and you were
waiting on this just because I knew you have a rant.
Dude, I had like 20 people text me asking me, "Hey, you good? Hey, about Brett?" I'm like, dude, we suck.
That's insane. That's 5 straight missed extra points going back to.
Then you got Dak cussing on the sideline saying, "What the F?"
Yeah.
I was watching the Manning broadcast, and they're like, Peyton's like, why are you, the second one, he's like, "Why are you not going for 2?"
Yeah.
I wish I knew, Peyton.
I have no idea.
There's no reason why they weren't going for 2. Here's the thing. No, let's get to the flip side of it. My dad asked me this today. He goes, "Will y'all sign a kicker?" I was like, I don't know. I don't know if you really can in the playoffs. So I had to look it up. The playoffs, you can. You can sign 1 player to your team per week. But if you sign them, they have to go to the active roster immediately.
Yep.
I didn't know that until today. As of right now, they plan on keeping Meyer.
I read today that while they are planning on keeping him, they may bring in someone for competition.
Who?
No idea. I didn't read any names. I just read ahead of mine.
So, dude, I just feel bad for Tom. I know I'm gonna get crap for this, but I feel bad for Tom. The best quarterback ever to end the season the way he did, 35 of 66. And it's funny to see like how it's sad to see 2 years ago, this offense with some of the minus a couple guys here and there, it's the same offense.
Yeah.
From their Super Bowl year.
Yeah. Where it was clicking like a machine.
Or like any time Tom Brady and Mike Evans or Chris Godwin wanted a first down, guess what? They got the first down.
Yeah.
You had a stout running game with Leonard Fournette being a 2-way running back, like how it was in college. Yesterday, they only got 52 total rushing yards. And Peyton Manning said it right. The only way they can run the ball on wide receiver screens.
Yeah.
And then Peyton's like, that's not even a run.
Right, exactly. That just got Brady.
But Julio got a touchdown in probably his last game.
Yeah, I did see that.
That was something good. So my question, and here's the thing: the first couple of drives, I was like, "What the crap is this game about to be like the most boring game of my life?" Like, I just watched the Grizzlies beat the Suns by 30. Like, am I really about to ruin my night with this nonsense?
Yeah,
And
it
then we
was
pulled
about to
away.
be a high and low for you.
I was like, oh, okay, we won. So I want to get let's do our divisional predictions real fast, and then I want to get to Brady Rodgers scenario.
Let's do it.
So let's jump in divisional round, okay?
Okay, let's do it.
Let's hit it off in the NFC. Let's do Giants. Oh, go ahead. I know you said you kept up with it firsthand real fast. Hit us with the standings between me and you.
Oh yes. So went back and looked at our predictions for the Super Wildcard weekend. Jared got 4 out of 6 correct. His only 2 misses were the Chargers over the Jags and the Vikings over the Giants. I did slightly better, but I'm not going to give my record as to not sound braggadocious.
You are 6-0, sir.
Thank you,
Real
sir.
fast. So somebody texted me this morning. They said they saw on Twitter. They said the reason why Dak played like a god last night was because he was going back to his old Mississippi State days and not having a kicker that can make a field goal. He had to build a lead. I said, "Oof! I forgot how bad the state was at kicking field goals back then."
Yeah. You know what you got to do, I guess.
So I got it pulled up now. Let's do Saturday lineup real fast. Let's go Jags and Chiefs. The Chiefs have opened up and it's 8.5-point favorite. I'm taking Chiefs.
Yeah, I love Jacksonville. I love their story. Love Duval. It's a horrible city to drive through, but Kansas City, it's not going to be close.
Giants and Eagles.
Give me the Eagles. I feel like mine are going to be super boring this round. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm going Giants just because I don't want to face them when we win. We beat the 49ers, so I'm going Giants. I love the defense. And here's the thing, if they can replicate their defensive success on shutting down the number 1 wide receiver for the Eagles, if Devontae Smith beats me, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
If you can shut down Justin Jefferson to 49 yards or 47 yards, who's way better than A.J. Brown? Sorry. Bold move. Sorry. If you can do that against the Eagles, you are in the ballgame.
Yeah.
And if Danny Dimes can play like he did on Sunday, on Saturday, like he did on Sunday, you're in the ballgame. Your defense is that good. You are in the ballgame. And your second string almost beat the first string last time they played.
That's true.
Give me Eagles. I gotta make a bold move to try to get some traction. Give me the Giants. Sorry, Giants. This one I think we may be on the same page here. Bengals and Bills. Who they gonna beat them Bengals?
Give me Cincinnati.
The one thing that scares me.
I love the Buffalo story. Prayers up for tomorrow. But give me the Bengals.
Well, the Bengals, the Bills are my pick to win the Super Bowl. I'm going against it. Give me Bengals. Give me Joe Burrow.
Joe Shiesty.
And if you look at the Bills' defense the past couple games, you will see why we will be taking the Bills or taking the Bengals.
Taking the Bengals, yep.
I'm telling you, this Bengals team is clicking at the right time. Granted, they barely won, but hey, guess what? That's your rivalry right there with the Ravens. I'm telling you, I'm here for it. Let's go, Joe Burrow.
I like it a lot.
I mean, it's hard not to like it.
That's
You're playing a Bills team that's not clicking like they should be.
Yeah.
With all the weapons they have, you should be blowing teams out. And he has struggled the past 2 weeks. I'm loving carrying that success over. Final game of the weekend, Starkey. I already know who you're going to take. Cowboys, 49ers.
To the moon. The rocket ship to the moon.
That's a wise move, and I want to take it. My gut says take the 49ers, but I'm taking the Cowboys because of my heart. I mean, what Cowboys fan wouldn't be saying that we're going to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, that's very true.
I mean, I'm a Cowboys fan. Micah Parsons the best defensive player of all time. Dak Prescott's better than Tom Brady. What?
I will say this though. Congratulations on finally having more playoff wins than Tom Brady.
You know, that was our first road win in the playoffs since 1993.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Almost as long as I've been alive.
It's longer than I've been alive. 10,000 days.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know why I do this to myself.
That at all.
Yeah, I'm fun. I'm good with a couple of fun facts every now and then. So let's jump into the next one. What does Tom Brady do? He didn't. So you got that little sob saying that he was thanking the media for being there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There is no way in this God in God's green earth that the good Lord has given us that Tom Brady retires following that type of performance and season.
No, I think he comes back. I hate it, but I think he comes back.
Remember, and I quote, what did he yell at his team middle of the season? I did not leave my wife for this.
Yeah. And he wasn't wrong.
Hear me out. He's got juice left in him. He threw for, let me see. He threw for, granted, his touchdowns weren't there, but guess what? His completions were there. Did you know he set an NFL record in completions this year?
Yes. And most, I believe it's also most in between interceptions too.
Correct. So, I'm telling you, Tom Brady's going. He's going back somewhere. He's leaving. It's a dumpster fire there.
Vegas.
Who'd you say?
Vegas.
The Raiders.
We agree on that. Well done, sir. Good job.
McDaniels is there. Tom loves McDaniels. It's
Yep.
a homecoming for him, technically, a little bit. It's not a San Francisco homecoming like we all wanted him to get, but
moving back to the AFC as well.
So, I think Tom's back. There's no way he finished the season like that.
No, I don't think so either.
So, Aaron was on the Pat McAfee show today and was like, the Packers have given me all the time to think about this. I'm going to take my time and think about it. I'm like, dude, you just signed one of the most lucrative contracts in NFL history. $50 million a year.
But you have to think the way the stipulation in that contract was, they said if you come back for 1 year, regardless of how long that contract was, he said, give us 1 year and we will let you do whatever you want. I'm not sold that Rodgers is coming back. Now, he does have 50 million reasons why he should, but I don't know if he does or not. I do not know. I wouldn't be shocked either way.
I think he's going to base it off what they do draft-wise.
I can see that.
If they draft well, I think he'll do it. So let's jump into the heart and soul of the podcast. Let's jump into basketball. We have a great NFL weekend, but we've had a lot of basketball. So before we get into that, Starkey, we've been preaching this for almost 50 episodes now. Folks, Mitchell James, of Porch to Patio Home Inspections. I'm going to use him for my next house. If Starkey, good Lord willing, he moves back up to DeSoto County, I think he'll use Mitchell James when he buys a house.
Absolutely going to use Mitchell James. Who else
would I use? Not use Mitchell James of Porch to Patio Home Inspections, folks? He is licensed in both. He is licensed in both Mississippi and Tennessee. Use code BDL15 for a 15% discount off your first home inspection.
Yep.
Folks, use him. We love him. He's a proud sponsor of the show. We got to talk about how much he's going to pay us. But, well, granted, we haven't really gotten him any business yet. Fingers crossed. Grizzlies, 10-game winning streak. I didn't bring my phone charger back here in the back room, but let me get into this real fast. The Grizzlies, month of January, first in net rating, first in defensive rating, fifth in offensive rating, second in points per game, first rebounds per game, second in blocks per game, fourth in field goal percentage, and fourth in three-point percentage.
Yep.
And real fast, when our phone dies, it's Felix about to go. So Jaren Jackson is 1 game away from setting a new league record. Jaren Jackson Jr. has made at least 1 3-pointer and 2+ blocks in 9 straight games. That has tied who for the longest streak in NBA history?
Ooh.
And so tomorrow night, if he gets a 3-pointer and 2 blocks, he breaks the record at 10 games. Do you know who it is?
Are they
No.
newer or older guys?
He played in the 2000s. He played in a Western Conference team. He played for, I'll give you a hint, he played for Utah. And he's not from this country.
That does not help me out.
He had one of these coolest names ever. He's Russian. His nickname was the best one ever. Or in today's market, in today's climate, it's probably not the best. His nickname was AK-47.
Okay. I'm drawing a blank. Help me out.
He played for Utah?
Yes.
He played for the Timberwolves. He's Russian. He had a giant little dragon tattoo across his back. He's a 1-time NBA All-Star. He played in the wrong generation.
I got nothing.
Andrei Kirilenko.
Okay.
Dude, how could you not?
I was blanking. I was blanking on his name.
So if Jaren gets 1 3 tomorrow night and 3 and 2 blocks, he sets the record for NBA streaks. So let's jump into this a little. So last night, MLK Day, great. It's a great game for us. It's always our one game, and hear me out. More market team. We only get X, Y, and Z out of before this year. We only got a small allotment of national televised games, and this was always our one game we got, no matter what.
Yep. Us and Atlanta.
Correct. So you know what we did? We show out.
Absolutely.
Granted, we were playing a depleted Suns team. That was on an 8-game losing streak, but we beat the brakes off them.
The thing with Phoenix though is they're sneaky. Typically, they're a sneaky, scary team, regardless of who's on the court or not.
I was listening on the way home from work because the game was at 5 yesterday. It was the Grizzlies. Eric Happs on from right goes, you know what's against media law if I don't say Damian Lee's Steph Curry's brother-in-law?
He gets what?
He's like, you know what? Eric Hasseltine was like, you know, it's against media law if I don't say that Damian Lee is Steph Curry and Seth Curry's brother-in-law.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll get in trouble if I don't say that.
That's crazy.
I thought it was funny. But man, you look at I was watching, so I went back and forth between the TNT and the
Valley.
Valley. I just love hearing the TNT guys. They're like, oh my gosh, the Grizzlies are this good?
Yes.
You can tell they were in all of them.
Yeah. You can tell they have no idea what's been going on in Memphis.
They know a little bit, but
clue.
Not a whole lot. At one point, they're like, dude, this Grizzlies team is 11 guys. I'm like, you're darn right we're 11 guys deep. And
Yep.
you start to think about that. You're like, oh, we know. I was thinking, we really are.
Yeah.
Just so we play relentless basketball for 48 minutes. Ja's only averaging, I think, 33 minutes a game, if that.
Mm-hmm. Which I read a great stat about that too. He leads the team in minutes with 33, but if you put that, excuse me, if you were to rank that like above, like in the like top NBA guys, I think that would only come out to maybe top 50.
So we have a guy at work that's he's the biggest Luka fan ever. Brandon Luka. He's like, well, Ja's not even these top stats. I'm like, look at it. Ja's team is stacked.
Yeah.
I don't need Ja playing 40 minutes a game. I want Ja playing 30 minutes here. That way, come playoff time, guess what? He's not gassed.
Exactly. Yes.
And guess what? There was rumors that he wasn't even going to play last night because of a hip injury.
Yeah. He was questionable before the game. Yes.
And how about the facts? He goes, it's the Ja ones that give me all this power.
I love it.
And then last week,
point the shoot, man.
Hey, you got to flex. But dude, when we're hitting threes, it's hard to beat us.
Especially when you're knocking them down at what did I send you the other day? 64% clip for like one game?
We shot 43% yesterday. Jaron was 1 of 4. Tyus was 2. Someone said, like, should we be worried about Tyus? I was like, no, don't be worried about Tyus.
No, never be worried about Tyus.
Desmond Bain was 3 of 4, and Ja was shockingly 5 of 8.
Yes.
And then Santi was 2 of 5. Zaire was 1 of 3. Dude, here's the thing. The Suns team, they were with us till the third quarter, and then clicked. It was tied at 70. Next thing you know, the Grizzlies just beat the brakes off them.
I'll tell you when I started. Actually, I didn't pick up the game until the second half. I picked it up with the BC dunk. That was the first thing I saw, and then I watched the rest of it from there.
So that's one thing I don't think a lot of people are giving hype to because it's BC. But that BC dunk,
that was beautiful.
It was so beautiful. And here's the thing, and I will get in this about the Pacers game. Just watching how high he can fly.
Yes.
You forget about that. And that's why the second unit is so deadly. So if you look at it, a healthy Grizzlies second unit is Tyus, Jitty, Zaire, Santi, and BC. You're literally letting BC run realm. Set high picks, and all he does is run to the rim, run to the rim, run to the rim. His job is either get tips, putbacks, or alley-oops. That's his job.
That's his job.
And
you don't need him to do anything else.
Granted, if he does, hey, all day long, I will take a BC floater all day of the week. I love me some BC floaters. Remember, this is the guy in college that blocked more shots than missed shots.
Yeah.
That's how high efficient he is. I love it. This team is so scary. And then you got Roddy coming on. Then you got Roddy, who's finally found his feet. I told you, what was it? Confidence. That's all you need.
Has swagger.
That's all you need. Well, that, and you need confidence that, hey, my shot's going to get in. I know how to shoot the ball. Shoot, release, shoot, go, shoot, go. So I did some more digging, but the 10 games. Do you know how many times Dylan Brooks has been the top 3 in shots?
You told me. Tell me before we start recording. It was less than 5.
4. It was 4. 4 out of 10 games, Dylan Brooks has been our top scorer, and 2 of those were when Ja was out and when Bain was out.
So we'll write that one off.
So you can write those 2 off there.
Right.
So you look at that. DB's, I think either he's buying into it or they're not giving, I think he's buying into it now.
he's either buying into it or saying, "Okay, I'm not going to get paid if I don't." So,
Oh, he'll get the bag. Somebody will give that man the bag this offseason.
I'm saying if he wants to stay in Memphis, he knows that's what he's going to have to do.
Correct. So, if you look at it, and I'll get into this right here, the pecking order in offense should go Ja automatically is your number one option every night.
Yep.
And then depending on who you're playing and what the matchup is, it should be Jaren or it should be Desmond.
Yep.
If you have Jaren playing like a small 4 or he's playing a 5, you give the ball to Jaren every single time.
Yep. No question.
And you do not stop giving him the ball.
Just beat the man. That's all you got to do.
If Jaren can get back to second-year Jaren, because they were talking about this the last night on TNT, about how Jaren shot, and I do believe this, Jaren shot, I was going to say it before, about how his shot is finally coming back. He started to come, as year 2, people are like, oh, he's the unicorn, right?
Yep.
And then he followed it up with the meniscus tear of that bubble, and then he came back in 2021. He only played 11 games, and last year wasn't a great shooting year for Jaren.
No, it was not. Super down year.
But this year, he's starting to get back to those numbers.
Yeah.
They're like, this guy could be a unicorn. I'm like, could be. He is.
He is. He's already there.
For the year, Jaren is shooting 37% from 3 on 4 shots. Granted, his first year, he was shooting 7 threes a game and making 30. And guess what? I'm fine with that. I'm fine with Jaren not if he's shooting 4 or 5 threes a game. That's all I want.
Yeah, let him go.
I want Jaren going to the basket.
Yeah,
that is where he excels the most. And granted, we all saw game 1 last year of the second round. What can happen when Jaren gets hot?
Yep.
You cannot guard him. You cannot do anything to him. Dude, it's just scary. So hear me out. In 2, real fast. Jaren's this year, he's averaging 4 free throws a game. He's shooting 78%. He can get that up easy to 8.
Yeah.
And he's still leading the league in the fouls. By the way, second round of NBA playoff voting came out, or NBA All-Star voting. Jaren's still not on there.
Still no Jaren Jackson Jr.
Which is ridiculous. I think he'll. It's because he's only averaging 16 points. Honestly, he'll still get. I think he'll get in there. He has to.
I mean, yeah. Once the player votes come through, it'd be a crime if he doesn't.
Well, it's not. It coaches too. Players and coaches and media will literally. That's our only hope. Ja's a lock, but Jaren, this should be the first time in franchise history we've had 1, a back-to-back All-Star, and 2. Jaren's our guy to get in there, and it's literally Jaren's Defensive Player of the Year to lose.
Yes, absolutely.
We are through halfway in the season. It is Jaren's Defensive Player of the Year to lose.
I'll go back to it. Mentioned it last week, and I think it was. I want to give the right credit. I think it was Parker Pilgrim said a Defensive Player of the Year award has never been given out at the All-Star game, but this year it should be to Jaren.
It should have been given out to him last year.
True, very true.
It's just the energy this team has. So I was watching alert today. They had it on NBA ESPN or whatever their show is, NBA Today, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the factors to get the Grizzlies to the 2 seed or to go to the NBA Finals? One was the Nuggets. I agree with that to some degree, but I'm telling you, you get a fully healthy Grizzlies team against a fully healthy Nuggets team in a best of 7. I'm taking the Grizzlies in 6.
I can see that. I would love, and I'm not. We'll get into.
Granted, neither one of us have been fully healthy.
No,
but man, I'm telling you, you gotta think we're young, we're deep. They're not. And playoff basketball, you're going to limit your rotation down.
Yeah.
But the way we play defense and how we like to run, if we can run, no one can say with. There's maybe 2 teams that can say with us. That's the Celtics and maybe Golden State.
Yeah. But maybe not this year.
Maybe not. We'll get into standings here in a second. The next one is scoring. Outside Ja, when Bane's not there, we don't have a consistent score, and that was proven that month and a half we missed Desmond Bane.
Yes, absolutely.
Then we'll get in here in a second. I'll let you play GM again. This will be the going segment, probably up to the trade line. Starkey making trades. I know Starkey loves it.
It's one of my favorite pastimes. It really is. I enjoy it.
When Desmond Bane is hurt or not in the lineup, we do not have shooting. And guess what? We said it last week on the show. Bane is not going to be 100% till the end of the season.
Right.
And if you want to play till June, you got to have lights out shooting.
Yep.
And Bane's the best shooter on the team.
By far.
But do you give something up for it? We'll get into that here in a second. I'll leave that one. And the next one was Jaren Jackson fouling. When Jaren is locked in, like when he doesn't get stupid fouls, because I know I've said it before, I know you agree with me. You have no issue with Jaren getting a foul, contesting a block.
No, absolutely not.
It's when he gets his dumb fouls away from the basket or he gets an offensive foul. When he's charging down, he lowers his shoulder, or he grabs someone's shirt, and then he gets in his head.
When he gets in his own head, he's done.
Because you got a shot blocking, you got a rim running shot blocking unicorn. It's easy for him to pick up 2 fouls. Jaren gets 2 fouls, he's done for the whole first quarter.
Yep.
So I'm gonna let you play GM, and then we have a couple. We have a couple of things to get to. So before we get to this, real fast, there are some teams. I don't know what Starkey's prepared for me trade wise. All I know is one helps us by 2 wins, one helps us by 4 wins. So I went online, did a little research today. There are some teams that are going to be taken soon. Some players to watch out for in the trade market. The Hornets. For us, I'd be looking for a Kelly Oubre or a PJ Washington. A big man off the bench. Kelly Oubre's a Grizzly killer.
Yep. Who we almost had once.
Yes, if it wasn't for the wrong. What
Brooks.
was it? Oh, yeah, Marshawn Brooks.
Marshawn Brooks.
They wanted. I remember I was so happy. I was like, oh my gosh, we got Kelly Oubre. Then I was like, ooh, nope.
Yeah. Or was that Kelly Olynyk?
No, it was Kelly Oubre.
Okay.
We almost got Kelly Oubre, but they wanted Dylan Brooks, and we said, no.
We'll give you Marshawn.
And they're like, nobody wants Marshawn Brooks.
They're like, who is Marshawn?
Oh, don't forget the great trade made for Justin. We traded like a first-round draft pick for Justin freaking Holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one is the Pistons are on the watch out for these teams basically to sell. With less than a month to trade deadline, these teams will sell. Bogdanovich, it's going to be tough to move him because they just gave him that contract extension.
Yeah. I would any move I would love to see the Grizz make. I would love to see us get Bogdanovich. But I
would too. But with how stingy we are with picks and capital, we have capital to move, but he's making a lot of money. I would love Sadiq Bey.
I wouldn't be mad about it.
The Rockets, you could see them making a move, but Eric Gordon is the only guy they have that you would want.
Mm-hmm.
But Eric Gordon's set to make $20 million. You're picking up half his contract. He's a free agent this offseason. I would get Sadiq Bey, 3-and-D guy. He's a volume shooter, along with my boy Malik Beasley, Mr. Microwave. And then you got the Orlando Magic. Really, the only guys for them are Terrence Ross or Gary Harris. Gary Harris can't stay healthy. Terrence Ross, former dunk champion, he's a volume shooter now. And then for the Spurs, I want McDermott. I would
not be mad about Doug.
He's a veteran guy. He shoots the ball well. I think he's averaging 38% plus 48 minutes a game, or 48 possessions, whatever the whole per 100 possessions. I want that. Starkey, GM time. Let's go. Who are we trading?
All right. So, like I told you, both of these trades send out the exact same thing, but one player nets us 1 win, the other nets us 4.
Okay, let's do the 1 win first.
Okay. So we send out Danny Green and a 2023 second round pick.
Wait. So you say both trades we send out the same thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not mad. I like this already.
We send out Danny Green and
So we're getting somebody with a $10 million contract. I'm
yes,
thinking in my head, go.
Who's about to start, who started already ramping up his rehab. So they're projecting him to be back on the court before the All-Star game.
That's the February 12th.
Yes, and I believe the trade deadline is somewhere right around there. So we send out Danny Green and I believe it's our second round pick this year to the Spurs.
Okay.
For Josh Richardson.
Ooh. My one thing, I've liked Josh. I wanted him in the offseason. He just doesn't strike me as a volume shooter. He's a scorer, but not a shooter.
These are more solidifying depth.
I like that. That is a good trade. That gives you a veteran guy off the bench who can get you points.
Yes.
I like that. That's a good one. I like that one.
And then the next one, same send out.
Danny Green in a
second to the Suns. And I think you know where I'm going with this.
Jay?
We're bringing back Jay Crowder.
Bossman 99?
We are bringing back the Bossman 99.
Bossman 99!
Would net us 4 more wins.
Granted, his shooting's not there, but that veteran leadership is what we need.
Yes.
Because I tell you what, though, by God, Dylan Brooks would not shoot us out of a playoff game with Jay Crowder on the side. Yeah.
No.
Can we get him back?
I read an article today that I think 6 teams could be in on Jay Crowder, and we were one of the 6. So I would love to see him come back.
So at the halfway point of the year, before we get into our final segment for the night, it's the Grizzlies are tied for first with the Nuggets. It's the Nuggets, Grizzlies, Pelicans, Kings, Mavericks, Clippers, Warriors, Jazz, Timberwolves, and Trailblazers. You see there I left off the Suns. They're 21 and 24. Yep. They're currently in 12th place. They're 1 game out of 10th. The biggest thing for the Grizzlies, as we've seen this before and years ago, you see teams start tanking, like playoff teams, start tanking to get that certain seed they want.
Yeah.
They slide down to a 3 maybe, get a little better matchup. Because remember, the 1 and 2 teams play the 7, 8. They play 7, 8 from the playing games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the playing games right now would be the Warriors, Jazz, Timberwolves, and Trailblazers. If the season is. If I'm them, you would probably be getting a first round against the Warriors. If I'm the Grizzlies, I'd be trying to lose. If there were 10 games left, I would be trying to lose to get to the 3 seed to avoid playing the Warriors in the first round.
I would not want to play Golden State again in the first round. Absolutely not.
Granted, I feel like we could beat them.
I think it would be a much better result. I think we'd have a much better chance than we did last year. But I'm sick of those playoff series with Golden State. I
love it because it's the old dogs not wanting to back down. They're not wanting to give up their title. And the Grizzlies are here, and we ain't ducking no smoke. I think if I'm them, I'm the Grizzlies come time. I'm trying to avoid the Warriors at all costs until the last possible seconds.
Yeah.
That means I got to play the Nuggets in the next round. That's fine. I'll play the Nuggets.
Yeah.
I just want to avoid the Warriors just because I now have the Warriors getting the playoffs. Like last year, no one thought they were going to make it far, and they won the NBA championship.
Yeah.
And then on the west side, on the east side, you got the Celtics, Nets, Bucks, 76ers, Cavs, Knicks, Heat, Pacers, Hawks, Bulls. I don't really see their top 10 teams changing that much, except I could maybe see with Tyrese Halliburton now, if the Raptors make a run and the Pacers fall, the Raptors get in the top 10.
Yeah.
With the Western Conference, Grizzlies right now, the one thing you want to do is separate yourself as much as possible from the 5 seed. That way, or get a 5, or separate yourself from much from the 6 seed. That way, the worst thing you get is a top 5 seed.
Right.
Because hear me out, the Pelicans, if Zion doesn't come back, they're done.
Yeah, they are.
They're not going to make it far. And then the Mavericks are a rolled ankle away from being a terrible team. And guess what? They don't have any assets to trade.
No, they don't.
They may trade. There's rumors they may trade Christian Wood at the end of the season or before the deadline to try to, if they can't finalize a contract with him. If there's ever, we said this last year, but I'm seeing it more and more this year. If there's ever a time for you to make a run, this is your run.
Mm-hmm. This is your year.
The Warriors have been hurt. The Suns are hurt. The Timberwolves suck.
Yep.
This is your year to make a run. Shoot, the Clippers are hurt. Kawhi's a shell of himself.
Yes.
And they're talking about trading John Wall today. This is your time to make a run. Now or never. Make your run now. Either, the more I think about it, I don't think we're going to make a trade deadline.
If we do, it'll be a smaller on the peripheral.
Well, the issue is
this type deal.
You always hear the one thing is you ruin that team chemistry. Are you willing to do that? And it's safe to say the Grizzlies, there's no team tighter than the Grizzlies.
Oh, no. Even the TNT post-game analysts and commentators, they were talking to Ja about they were interviewing post-game, and they said this chemistry that you guys have, it's off the charts. That's one of the first things that people notice about this Grizzlies team is the chemistry they have with one another.
Dude, it's phenomenal, and I love it. So we'll save some wood and kind of more in depth next weekend. But Ja Morant left us with a moment Saturday night. Ja, and I quote, "If you want to fly with me, come fly. If you want to jump with me, jump with me."
Yeah.
When will people learn not to jump with 12?
See, that's the thing is I don't think they will.
Or hear me out.
Should.
When do you not jump with the Grizzlies? Don't jump with us.
No.
Stop it. Josh said last night, I guess people like being on posters.
I mean, at this point, they would about have to.
So Ja had a monster dunk. It wasn't like the best facial, but it was just the fact of how far he cocked the ball back.
Yeah.
Like it was down to his butt. That is how far back he cocked it. And just slammed it forward. I was watching it live and I wanted to yell, but I just put my kid to sleep, so I couldn't yell.
Right. Everybody was saying that this was the one dunk they had been waiting for. This is the moment people have been waiting for from Ja.
They're already labeling it the dunk of the year.
Yep.
Um,
Until he does another
so
one.
so my question, and the best thing is watching the bench reaction.
Yes. Okay.
And then you watch, and then like people were like finding it on like Twitter and all that. They would pause it, like they would screenshot it, and they'd zoom in on coach's reaction with the mouth dropped, the fans. They said there were fans there. They just stood there speechless because they've never seen that before. I'm like, I would have gone, oh yeah, we see that all the time. My dad texted me, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
My father-in-law said, wasn't that good of a dunk? He told my wife, he goes, I wasn't that impressed. I was like, what?
The best and my favorite reactions, and I'm not going to repeat what he said because this is a family show, was David Roddy.
What did Roddy say?
He goes, like people were holding him back, and you could just see his mouth goes, oh, expletive.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Dude, wild. So, my question is, where does that dunk rank on the all-time Ja dunks?
Okay.
To me, that's so out of 5, I don't know how you want to do this. To me, that's not number 1.
Okay. So we can rank him or we can draft him. It's up to you.
Let's rank them. Let's
Okay,
go.
I like that better.
So let's start off with this. Let's start off with the first dunk of them all, the Aaron Baines dunk.
Okay.
Where do you rank that?
I've got the Aaron Baines one at 4.
What?
I've got Aaron Baines at 4, yes.
I got that at 2.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay. Jakob Poeltl, number 1.
His first one I've got at 3.
Okay. I had that at 4.
Okay.
Let's go. How many do you have in yours? I just have 5. I have 6.
I thought we were drafting, so I went ahead and I've got 8, but I definitely have a top 5.
Okay, well, I have top 5, and then I have an extra one, but hey, I'm all for it. Let's do Jakob Poeltl, number 2. I have that at 5.
I've got a 5.
See, that's a good one, but my issue with that one is he didn't really dunk it. He just threw it.
He just kind of threw it.
He was up so high, he threw it. The first one was a posterize.
Yes.
And then Jakob didn't learn. To me,
That was an in the air. The second one was an in the air overhanded layup.
Actually, I can get with that one. To me, the Aaron Baines one is it's so underrated. It's so underrated. Because you forget that's his rookie year. He's never done anything like that.
Yeah. That was definitely his coming out party for sure.
So the next one, I think we both agree with this. Malik Beasley, number 1.
I've got Malik Beasley at 2.
What?
I've got Beasley at 2.
Starkey. No, he jumped through the Malik Beasley. And that dunk's the reason why we won the game.
They had a funeral. They had to stop the game because they had a funeral for Malik Beasley. I know.
All the radio stations the next day had one, and Chris Vernon them had one.
Yeah. I've got Malik Beasley at 2, man. As great as it was,
What do you have? The dunk this weekend, number 1?
Call it recency bias. Yeah, I've got Jalen Smith at 1.
Oh, I have that at 2. So I have that at 2. Not for the power. It's just the finesse of how far back he cocked it.
Yeah.
And then it's just the reaction. So to me, the Malik Beasley one, that is number 1. That has to be number 1. It's just the mindset. You're down by 12 in the playoffs. You're losing going into the fourth quarter. And you say YOLO. You say screw it. We're going for it.
Mm-hmm.
The dunks he's tried on Anthony Davis and K-Love.
Yep.
He finally landed it.
He finally landed it. That's very true.
That's why it's number 1 to me. That is the premier Ja dunk. So I listed my 5. My next one is, I don't know if you have it on there. You put it at 6. Is the dunk against the Wizards last year. The
Okay.
windmill.
Okay.
So that one, I would give that one. I think it's just on there primarily just because of the whole play scenario. You had the Bane block.
Yep.
Jitty throws it up to Jaren, and Jaren throws it up to Ja. Does a windmill, dunks it. And Ja said after the game, I thought about doing it in between the legs.
Just showing off at that point because he can.
So give me your other 3 dunks. I'm curious to see what are yours.
So I kind of kept, except for one, I kind of kept mine to actually dunks on people.
Okay.
So at 6, I've got his dunk on Chris Boucher.
Oh yeah, I've got that year too. Yeah, that's a good one.
And then number 7, I've got his dunk in the All-Star game last season.
But see, was that on? No, that wasn't on somebody though.
No, that one, that's the one that was not on somebody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was a good one as well. The half court lob, that was a good one.
And then at number 8 was his dunk on Robin Lopez. Just because anytime somebody dunks on Robin Lopez, I love it.
You forget about the Robin Lopez dunk. So they got into the argument on all the shows the next day, and people asked me, "Is Ja going to be in the slim dunk?" No, he's never going to be.
He's never going to. No, he said. Ja said that unless he has comparable talent to himself, which sounds kind of arrogant, but I mean I get it. He's never going to be. He wants Zion with him in the dunk contest.
Well, they're never going to allow Zion. They will never allow Zion because he will tear something.
Yes.
So I mean, I know one of them that's got announced is Mac McClung for the Culture.
Yep. First ever G League guy.
Like 10 years ago, it used to be like 12 years ago, Dwight Howard's year, it was actually him and Nate Robinson. And the Vince Carter year, it was him and Tracy McGrady. And then we need to get that going again. LeBron has said he always wanted to do it.
I think LeBron will set for his last season.
I don't think. I actually that'd be good. That'd be a good write off. So if LeBron ever is it and he hasn't announced it's his last year, you kind of know it's going to be his last year.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I don't think Ja is going to be a great little dunk contest dunker.
See, I tend to agree with you on that. I think the thing with Ja is it's the level of competition that he has, like in the moment. And it's his team like feeding it to him, not him.
And I think he's way better just dunking on people.
Yes.
I look at Russ. People said forever Russ needs to be in it. Russ is not only a good inning. Russ just throws down power.
Yeah.
I think if you get a certain amount of people in there, Ja would do it, but I don't think Ja will be that good. I do think we need to get Jaren in the skills competition. There's a big man in it every year, and Jaren should be in it this year. Just throwing it out there. I know you had a final segment for us.
Yes, I do. So I wanted to get your take on this. It was, I believe, yesterday. Let's see.
You said it was Shaq tweeted it?
Yeah, 2 days ago, Shaq tweeted this. He said, 4 games to 2. You already know who I'm with. Don't ask me. Also, who's guarding me? Okay. And he posted a picture of 2 teams, and he's asking in their prime who would win.
Read them off to me.
Team A, Magic, Kobe, Michael, Bird, and Shaq.
Ooh, okay, that's down.
Team B, you got Steph, LeBron, Joel, KD, and Giannis.
What number Kobe do they have in there? Is it 8 or 24?
24 Kobe.
Okay. What era is officiating? You can make this up if you want to. You can choose. Don't matter to me.
I'm gonna go. We'll go 90s. 90s, early thousands.
Okay, thousands. That's a tough one because there's one guy on it. I don't know who you put on from the Shaq team. I don't know who you put on Giannis.
Yep.
Because you put Kobe on Steph.
Yep.
You throw Magic on KD.
Yep.
Throw MJ on LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
And then do you put Sai? You suffer Sai, and then you got Larry and Shaq left to guard Yanni and
Joel.
Exactly. That's what scares me. That's what I don't like. Could be Shaq's team.
Okay.
Just for the fact you're playing 90s style, dude. LeBron can't hack it. None of them can hack it. And you're putting Kobe in his prime. Kobe in his prime was a freaking great defender.
Yeah. Which I think most people forget about.
And then you got to forget young Shaq could guard from the perimeter, from the 3-point line down.
Yep.
Give me them.
Okay.
I feel like what I would do, I would put Larry, and you got to think, man, just because Larry Bird white don't mean he can't play defense.
Exactly. That's true.
Why I think what they would do, they put Larry. Larry is underrated defense. They put Larry in his prime on. No. What they could do. Oh, figured out. No, they put Magic on Embiid.
Yeah, Magic could be on Embiid.
And put Yanni and put Shaq on Yanni. And then do Larry on LeBron.
So you would have Jordan, Garden, KD?
Yes.
All right.
Or you could do either or. It doesn't. Who do you have?
Yeah, give me the old guys. It would not be close. Because I'm wondering, of those guys, who's guarding Shaq in his prime?
Who's guarding Larry in his prime?
I don't know.
Dude,
I really do not know. Because you think of the 5 guys who the younger guys. Steph's not going to play defense.
He can't. Who do you put him on? MJ? Kobe?
I mean, I think you would have to try to put him on Kobe, but that'd be embarrassing for Steph.
Kobe would eat him for breakfast.
Yeah. So yeah, give me that old generation. Sweep. It'd be a sweep in 3 games, dude. I'm telling you.
Amen to that. I'd love to see it though. I'd love to see it, especially if they're letting them just play. I mean, I'm here for it even more.
We need that to be a Madden or a 2K setting.
You can. You gotta edit teams and you can do it. I'll work on it. Yeah, my old Xbox.
That'd be great.
Folks, that's going to do it for this week's show. I do have one final segment I want to bring. The Grizzlies set an NBA record for the first team to win 10 games in a row while averaging 115 points per game.
Yep.
We put on for our city. In the words of Young Jeezy.
Yep.
Folks, we'll be back here better than next week. Hopefully, going off Grizzlies more wins. We have 2 games between now and then, and we have the Cavs and we have the Lakers.
Yep.
Hopefully, Jared is 3-0 coming into next weekend. Woo! Next week, that probably won't be. So, could be a good show next week. Could be a very depressing show next week.
There's only one way to find out.
Amen to that. I'm not ready for it. Well, folks, we'll see you next week. Be easy.
Bye, y'all.
And jump with me.